I want more kids but husband doesn't. So as the title says, I, 29F, want my kids and my husband, 27M, doesn't. I have 2 kids from my first marriage who are 9 and 6. I always planned on having more kids someday as I had my first very young and wanted to work on my career and life goals before adding to the family. Then my ex and I got divorced and it looked like that chapter of my life was over. But I met my husband and fell in love and we got married almost 2 years ago. He knew when we got married that I wanted more kids. I knew he didn't want them, right now, as he said. But since he is a couple years younger than me, I just figured we would wait a few years. No big deal. He is a great dad to our 2 boys and has completely jumped into the role of a father since their birth. Dad decided me being remarried meant he no longer had to be a parent. Well, at this point I'm at a place in my career where having another baby would be ideal before moving on to the next step. He knows this too, and as I'm nearing 30 it seems more and more like a now or never thing. But recently he's changed from, not right now, to no more ever. I appreciate so much that he has stepped up with the boys, but it sucks giving up something I wanted and always thought was a possibility. He doesn't understand why I would be bothered by it because I have 2 kids and I get that, but I can't help feeling disappointed. I have given up so much in my life to make other people happy and I just feel like this is just one more thing on that list. Edit. I didn't make it clear in the original post, but my husband claimed he changed his mind, but when I tried to understand why, he said he never actually intended to have any more kids but was just saying what I wanted to hear and hoping I would change my mind. Kids aren't something you can compromise on. If one partner wants more and one partner does not, do not have another kid. It will not go well. If you feel the need to leave him to get with someone else who will want a 3rd kid, that is completely your decision to make. And it is obviously a huge one. But you cannot try to convince a partner to have a kid. You respect his wishes and you don't have more kids, or you divorce and do what you want. In all fairness, your husband has just as much right as you do with regards to wanting, not wanting more children. I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. When I, 43F, met my ex-husband at 30, he had 2 kids aged 10/11. We talked about having more kids. He'd had a vasectomy after his second and we even saw a fertility specialist to figure out what we needed to do to have a baby together. But in short time, I realized I just didn't want kids. His kids took a lot of time and energy. They cost a lot of money. I didn't want to have babies in the house and kids in HS. It just became very unappealing to me. Sounds like your husband came to a similar conclusion. Put the time, energy, money into the kids who are already here. Having kids just isn't something you can compromise on. If he's not on board though, he should get a vasectomy so it's not even an option. An oops baby could really put your relationship in peril. For starters, it's not really a now or never thing. I'm 37 and many of my peers are on their first baby at my age or older. My mother in fact had me at 32 and my sister at 40. Secondly, if you think you sacrifice too much for others, then you need to stop doing that so much. You're becoming resentful and that just doesn't work. Couples counseling might really help in this situation. You can both air your feelings about the matter with a neutral person in the room to help guide you. Understanding why he changed his mind might really help you with the resentment piece. But he should also know that you are feeling resentful. If he doesn't want kids, don't have kids. Simple. He isn't ready for them, so don't force that on him. It is his decision as much as it is yours. To me, if you say he is as great as he is, sounds like either he is content being a father to your 9 and 6-year-olds, or he is realizing parenthood is not easy and had decided no to have kids of his own. Therefore, you will have to make a decision whether to stay with him and also be content with what you already have, or separate and find someone else who will meet your expectations. Good luck to you. I think you need to contemplate whether or not this is a deal breaker for you. You shouldn't expect or try to get him to change his mind. One should only have kids if they truly want them. If he doesn't, he'll build resentment over time about it. So think about what you need and what you're feeling and talk to him about it. Y'all need to determine if you can live with this difference. If not, then you might not be as compatible as you think. He lied to you. I guess you have to decide if that deception is too much for you to overcome. Because it's pretty big. That right up there with, I have 100 KCC, student loan debt level of deception. Maybe therapy and/or couples counseling can help you sort through this. I think what would bother me more than him not wanting more children is the fact he lied to you about it for years. That's a pretty big lie and highly manipulative. Have you considered marriage counseling? You married him knowing full well there was a possibility you may never have another child. Right now, doesn't change the first part of the sentence, which is, I don't want kids. Now you have to decide if you accept that past decision, or you leave your family and spend the next however much time finding another partner that loves your current children and will father your future children. Also, your time is not running out. Geriatric pregnancies are far more common today, and there is always adoption if you cannot biologically have another. There is also the option of surrogate. So while society may be telling you the end is nigh, don't believe it. You have options and time. With kids, you can't compromise and just have half of one. Each partner has a total right to veto. I wanted loads of kids. My partner didn't. Our first came along a year or two earlier than scheduled because I forgot the pill. And our second came as a result of forgetting the condom. I was delighted each time. He was worried about being able to provide for the family. So then he said no more babies. I really wanted another baby. I wanted a home birth. And to try out various mothering things that I hadn't known about for the first two. But I respected his opinion and made sure not to get pregnant again. I consider myself very lucky to have got pregnant twice with 2 healthy, happy children to show for it. Not having all those kids, though, meant that I concentrated more on my career, and I'm very happy to be earning my own living and not being dependent on my partner. And that's really valuable. Kids grow up and leave. It's important to have other things in your life too. Kids should only happen if both sides are in agreement. You can't force him to change his mind. If having more kids was so important, then you should have had a bigger conversation before you got married. You can't make someone want a kid. He admitted he lied about wanting kids. He misrepresented himself. Maybe he's not a great guy after all. Both people have to be 100% committed or it will not work. Are you trying to avoid something else by focusing on having another baby? Be grateful for what you have and focus on your marriage. Your husband outright lied to you to get you to marry him. This is not okay, and serious discussions need to be had about why he lied and what else he isn't telling you. This is a big betrayal, as you've essentially married someone who isn't who they said they were. I'm sorry, and I hope you two can figure this out. Just to clarify, We will not be having another kid if he doesn't want one. He knew I wanted more kids and has all this time made me think that was in the future. He has the right to change his mind, of course. I in no way intend to baby trap someone. I was posting to vent, get advice about how to move on without being resentful. Having a child needs to be a 2-yes situation. He said no, so no kids. It's up to you if that's acceptable or not.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.